This is our first adventure, trying to look for a shot to do a time lapse in. We are going to be speaking on expectations. The reason why we're talking about this is because it's something that we encountered in the early stages of our relationship. It wasn't always daisies and roses. We want to make sure that we are also transparent in the things that we didn't do correctly and how we corrected them. We feel that that's where you're going to learn the most. And we also don't want to speak on anything that we haven't really lived. Going back to expectations.
I'm an only child, so my father always has expressed his love to me in every shape, way, or form.
Every way, shape, or form?
Yes. Every way, shape.
Every way, shape, or form.
Every way, shape, or form. And he would give me things I wanted, where it eventually affected me when it came to already having someone in my life and putting that same expectation on him. So when we're already as boyfriend-girlfriend, I was expecting everything and anything from Ivan. And it really shook our relationship at one point, literally where I was like, you know what, I don't think this is gonna work out because of the mindset I already had. I was expecting something from him, he had no idea.
I always felt like I wasn't doing enough. Like, in my heart, I felt like I was going above and beyond what I felt to do, to the point where it almost became a burden. It almost like I had to calculate when I had to do things when it shouldn't be that way. When I guess the cup overflowed in the sense of, you know, us not wanting to deal with that. We had to find a happy medium, and how we did that was sitting down with our mentors. And they were the ones from the outside looking in, and then of course they're married. They're a huge example to us, and we obviously took into practice what they said, and it literally saved our relationship.
Yeah. And we're here.
And we are here to the glory of God. So in the transition, so you gave me a book. It was called The 5 Love Languages, I believe.
I gave it to them as like, you need to learn my love language.
Yes, like it was borderline like, if you don't learn this, like this is not gonna work.
Right.
But I did take it, I received it. I thank God that I'm pretty coachable. I like to be taught, and I don't feel like I know everything. I don't mind getting corrected. So I read it. To be quite honest with you, I didn't read the whole thing.
I didn't, for real?
I didn't read Confessions.
These are my confessions.
Anyway, we gotta turn that. So yeah, I didn't read the whole thing. But I think I read enough to understand where she was coming from. I came from a place where my surroundings devalued or frowned upon, you know, showing that towards your significant other in our life. Because I came from a place where they would say that you whooped, that it just wasn't a good look. You wanted to seem like an alpha male all the time. You wanted to make sure that, you know, they don't see you a certain way. But let me give you guys a reality. If you want your relationship to succeed, make sure that you're making her feel the best possible way that you know how to. Making sure that you do tell her I love you, that you do hold her hand. Like whatever you really feel to do, that you do it. Don't be held back with what other people around you may think, with what your boys may think. At the end of the day, you're gonna go with her and you're gonna deal with her. So make sure that she feels appreciated. Make sure that you do everything within your power to make her feel good. After the conversation we had with our mentors, they started both of our expectations started to become more normal, because they were all disoriented. They needed a calibration. Our expectation needed a calibration, and they were calibrated in that meeting.
There was a time where we're boyfriend, girlfriend, and I was at the mall and I saw these shoes that I was like, oh, you know what? Just because I'm that type of love language, that just because I got him these shoes and I gave it to him for no reason. There was no birthday, no Christmas, nothing. It was just no reason. I just wanted to give him these shoes. And that subconsciously created already an expectation on when you go to the mall next time, you need to get me something. You know, and those are things that shouldn't happen. Just because I got you something doesn't mean that he's forced to get me something back. If he wants to do something for me, it needs to come out of a genuine place, not because he got forced to do it, which eventually is gonna cause fights, it's gonna cause disagreements, it's gonna cause, oh no, but you didn't do this or you did do that. It's like, wait a second. I think the real expectation where it should really be placed is in Jesus. There's no limit on him, and I know that he wants the best for you and for us, and we shouldn't put that limit in God.
You can put an expectation on him beyond your dreams, and it'll probably still fall short.
Yes.
But that's where you can. But when it comes to humans who are limited, who are not the owners of the gold and silver, then you should maintain your expectations to to a minimum. And then that way you set yourself up for success. We should always have an expectation on ourselves to be better and love the other person more than you did before. And sometimes it could be easier said than done because life happens and you're not always going to be happy and all these things. But the sooner you can get back to that mindset, and the quicker of a fruitful relationship you're going to have. There's an expectation for Valentine's Day. Right. There's not an expectation on a regular Thursday. So play your cards right. Understand that when there's already expectations to something, it's harder for you to break through that. When it's a random day that nothing really is happening, but yet you do the smallest little gesture, that's gonna resonate a lot more than if you do something on a day that is supposed to happen.
If I'm dying to myself just for him to feel happy, then the outcome of him being happy is gonna make me happy.
Yeah, and it's gonna outweigh
the death.
There comes a point where you're now married, and then you have pre-programmed yourself, you have laid the foundation in a way where now you're doing things out of appreciation, out of gratitude towards that other person, out of love.
I think it's very important to know that when you create those false expectations, when your significant other does something a little detail for you, ungratitude comes. You don't appreciate the little things just because your expectations are sky high. That's where it's like, oh, but I expected more, or I deserved more. You should appreciate even the little things. If I would have allowed my high expectations to continue, and we wouldn't have continued our relationship, we would have lost everything that we've gained and everything that we've seen God do through us already. If we both wouldn't have died and let go of those mindsets and renew it. Believe me, the moment that you break that mentality, you're gonna see how much more you are going to enjoy the little things.
Just make a conscious decision that you're there to please one another without expecting anything in return.
Relationship is about having the other person happy, lifting the other person, affirming them, respecting them, loving them. Of course, it's never about yourself. The moment you think about yourself or put yourself in first position, you're putting that relationship to fail.
If you know anybody who can use this information and put it to practice in their lives, please share it with them. You'll be doing them a great service. And if there's any feedback that you guys would like to share with us, please send that over to us. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And we will definitely continue to do so as long as we continue to see the demand that you guys have placed so far. We love you, we thank you,
Love you guys.
And we will see you next week.